Welcome to Fantasy Victory Now with the expert Paul Charchian. I'm Mike Durkin, and Charch, with the news RG3 is coming back to the return to the helm in Washington. Should savvy fantasy owners add him right now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't play well enough when he was in before, and I got to figure that he's one or two bad starts away from them bringing Kirk Cousins back. Not that Cousins has been fantastic; he's just been okay, and he's made too many mistakes. But we just didn't get enough out of RG3. He wanted so much to tell the narrative about how last year they brought back RG3 too soon, and then this year with the full offseason, healthy, he was going to come back and really pass well. But Mike, it just didn't play out that way early in the season, and so I'm gun shy.
All right, well, Mark Ingram, he's another guy scheduled to come back. Is he going to pick up where he left off?
I'm a lot more confident about Mark Ingram. I do like Ingram to pick up where he left off. He had been great through those first couple of games. I think he returns to the lead role. And keep in mind, his injury was hand. I mean, that's not something that you're worried about affecting his running ability. So this is a good opportunity for Mark Ingram, who's kind of been off fantasy radars for a month, comes back. I think he picks up right where he left off, and he just daggers the value of a guy like Kyrie Robinson and, to a lesser degree, even Pierre Thomas. So, yeah, I think we go back to starting Mark Ingram pretty much every week now, although tough matchup this week.
Yeah, tough one. The bowling ball by the beach in San Diego. How long is Branden Oliver going to keep this act up?
Branden Oliver is going to keep it up while they keep playing bad defenses, and I do like Branden Oliver to maintain a role, especially for the next couple of weeks. I don't think anything's going to change here in terms of him being the starter for at least a couple of weeks until Ryan Matthews comes back, and then Matthews isn't even running yet. And then when Matthews does come back, you figure Branden Oliver moves into the Danny Woodhead role, and he becomes a change of pace runner and a receiver. So there's a lot to like about him, and as I advised people a couple of weeks ago to pick him up and hold on to him, I think it's all playing out right now, and the schedule remains very favorable.
All right, Ronnie Hillman, he had some big runs and a big Sunday.
Yeah.
But what happens when Montee Ball returns?
This thing's getting interesting because Montee Ball didn't look great when he was in. Was getting very little help from his offensive line. And, you know, if we end up getting a bunch of good games from Hillman, well, this thing becomes pretty interesting when Montee Ball comes back. But there's one thing I do feel good about. What'll happen at the goal line, I still think that'll, in a worst-case scenario, a healthy Montee Ball will be a goal line back, even if Hillman looks good. You know, they've tried Hillman, and they've tried to work him in other times in years past. Hasn't worked out. I need to see more than one good game from Hillman before I'm a believer, and I still think of the two, I'd rather have Montee Ball once Ball's healthy.
All right, the Indianapolis Colts, they're at home.
Yeah.
That means you're starting T.Y. Hilton, right?
Yeah, he's going to be one of the players with the biggest home road discrepancies in fantasy football, and he's somebody that you start most weeks. As we've talked about in past Fantasy Victory Nows, Hilton has been a guy who's been undervalued up until last Thursday night. He'd been undervalued, I think, because that was a really good passing offense. Andrew Luck's throwing the most touchdowns in the NFL, and Hilton it just was a matter of time before the stats started to catch up to him. We had the big correction Thursday. I think it continues here, and he remains a guy that you start at home for sure.
All right, there's a lot to look forward to in Week 7. All of the rankings are online right now at fantasyvictory.com, and Charch will be updating them right up until kickoff on Sunday.